am in the middle of a petunia explosion, or at least it feels that way. One of the most popular flower picks of summer, petunias are perfect for your flower beds and the pots on your front porch or your patio as well. There's so many reasons to love this beautiful flower. So today, everything you need to know about petunias, from picking the prettiest to planting and potting them to keeping them blooming all summer long. Brian Lloyd from Olson's greenhouse is here, and boy, are you here. I walked out, he said, "Welcome back," and I said, "I'm going to pretend this is all for me."
It is.
This is
it's
amazing.
all for you.
Do you love the petunias as much as most?
I do. I love petunias in my yard, for sure.
Why are they so popular?
You know, they come from South America, but they come from a very similar climate to us. So if you go to other parts of the country, the popular flower is impatiens or begonias, things that do well in the shade.
Right.
But other parts of the country, they don't have as much bright sunlight as we have. Where we've got that bright sunlight, the petunias absolutely love it. It's because it's where they came from.
It gives the beauty and the color that we're after, but they survive, actually.
Exactly, and they thrive is the big thing. So if you want to burst a color in your yard and you have full sun, petunias are the way to go.
We're going to talk about varieties. Can we start there?
Yeah, for sure.
You've got some basics over here.
So petunias come in basic form and a premium form, and I want to kind of show you the difference today. So a lot of people are familiar with the basic petunias. These are started from seed. They grow up and they just do their thing right where they're at. You space them really closely. They're cheaper because of the way that we grow them. They're a lot cheaper than the premium petunias, but there's a reason why the premium theunias are more expensive and why you want to pay a little bit more for premium petunias, and I'll tell you that when we get over to those premiums. But basic petunias, they have their purpose. But the one drawback is, Brooke, is they kind of grow up and then in the heat of the summer, they split open and fall apart, and they don't bloom in the middle. So they don't look great in the heat of the summer in the landscape.
Dead July, they're going to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, they still look okay, but you definitely want to upgrade if you're looking for a great look all summer long.
Where would be the ideal place then to put the basic petunia?
So I use these as spots of color in containers mixed with other basic annuals like marigolds or snapdragons or things like that. You can use them sparingly in the landscape, in the ground. But if you're going to do a whole bed of just petunias, I would recommend upgrading to a trailing variety or a mounding variety.
Okay, and before we leave this particular set, help me get the grower's eye. If I'm at the greenhouse, at the garden store, how do I choose a petunia that's really going to thrive and do well? What am I looking for?
So you want something that's not stretched out. These are all very compact. There's a very short distance between the leaves. And when they get stretched, they get weak, and that sets them up for falling apart even quicker, like we talked about earlier. So you want a nice compact plant, not a lot of spacing between the leaves, and you want a dark green foliage color. And the blooms, it doesn't matter. If you see a lot of buds coming, these are buds right here that are just about to open up. As long as you've got a lot of buds coming, you're ready to go. It doesn't matter whether it's in full bloom or not.
All right, should we go to the other varieties?
Yeah, let's talk about premium for a minute. So premium petunias are premium for two reasons. Most of them come from vegetative cuttings, not from seed. And that's why they're more expensive. It's a more expensive process to collect that cutting than it is to collect a seed.
But you're saying you get what you pay for.
Exactly. You have to do that to keep the traits that we like. And the traits are either trailing or mounding and a lot more color. So when you get a basic or a premium petunia, like a wave petunia, wave petunias will spread like up to 2 to 3 feet sometimes, where a basic petunia maybe spreads 8 inches.
Take a step back, Brian, so we can kind of get a closer peek at these.
A trailing petunia, you don't have to buy as many. So even though you pay more per plant, in the long run, you're actually better off as long as you space them correctly.
Okay, and talk to us through that correct spacing.
So you want to look at the tag because each different color is a little bit different, but normally you'll space a wave petunia 18 to 24 inches out in the garden. So where a regular basic petunia, like we talked about earlier, is maybe 8 to 10 inches. So half as many plants, but way more color. It'll fill in and get a lot more color for you down the road. I'm
assuming because of the shape and the drooping and the stealing, these are what you want for your flower baskets.
Exactly. These are perfect for baskets, and we have some wave baskets out on these display, this explosion of color. These are premium genetics in the baskets.
How do I get baskets like this? Let's talk care and maintenance. I need this in my life.
So this is another premium petunia, and this one has more of a mounding and spreading habit. So these are proven winners, and most of the proven winner varieties, like they call them super petunias, because they get so big. You can see where they got their name. So they call them super petunias because they have that big mounding habit, and they just explode with color. This is only 3 plants, is all this started
Are
from.
lying, really?
Not at all.
3 plants turn into this?
Exactly.
Holy cow.
You could never get this with a basic seed petunia.
Yeah, don't even try.
Yeah, so you get, when you're going with containers, go for wave, or I actually like proven winners for different purposes in containers because they mound and trail.
Yes, they do, as proven here. Proven winners, no pun intended. I love how, too, you played with the color combinations. Talk us through some good color varieties that would look and pair well together.
Yeah, so up here we have a pastel combination right here, and it just depends on what you like. What do you like to come home to? If you like bright, bold colors, go with the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. If you like more pastels, look for those types of shades of pastels and things like that. So it's just a matter of preference. Petunias come in more colors than any other flower, and now you can see why I like them so much, right?
Do you have a favorite if we were to look over the
You know, I love the veined petunias, no matter what they are. So this is probably my absolute favorite petunia. It's a proven winner.
Okay.
It's called Bordeaux, so it's got the coolest name ever.
Yeah.
But the veining, that dark purple in the center, is what I love so much about it. It's the wind's picking up, so you're not getting the full effect
Really,
right now.
my hair can't tell. My hair can't tell. But yeah, it adds a lot of texture and interest, doesn't it?
Exactly, and I like to play off that dark vein color with a different color that's a bright purple or blue or something like that, and really make that center vein pop out.
Okay, now I have to ask you, because on our staff, Stephanie is our resident producer gardener, right?
Right.
And she was shocked to learn from you. She learned from her grandma you need to deadhead these guys, not so?
No, you don't need to deadhead petunias. So petunias are self-cleaning, we call them. Now you can deadhead petunias. We've never touched these, Brooke, but every once in a while you'll find maybe a dead bloom. Okay, so that's what this is right here.
Yeah.
And you can pull that off if you want, but eventually it'll fall off on its own and float away.
Self-cleaning.
So they're self-cleaning. You don't have to deadhead them, but you can if you want to spend the time. I don't like to do it because you get really sticky. That's the only drawback of petunias.
And let's be honest, we've got enough to do in the yard this time of year, right? We can let that take care of ourselves. Awesome. Where do we find all of these varieties that you mentioned?
So we sell petunias at Home Depot, Walmart, Costco.
Okay.
Is where Olson's greenhouse provides flowers for. And then I have a new blog, Brooke.
You do?
And a podcast.
Oh my gosh, how
coming
exciting.
Out. So
that's a great idea.
you can follow me on Twitter and find more information about it. My handle on Twitter is Bud or Bloom.
Love it.
And if you listen to the podcast, you'll figure out why we say Bud or Bloom.
Okay.
But the podcast is called Dig in the Yard. And so you can go to digintheyard.com and find our podcast.
We're so lucky to have him as a resource here on Studio 5, and now everyone can access you through that as well. So we'll make sure and post those links for you on our website. Thanks so much, Brian.
Yeah, thanks,
and
Brooke.
thanks for the welcome back.
You're
Again,
welcome.
I'm pretending these are all for me.
They are.
Right, all right.